Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Kokomo BobKats BobKast. And this is a new podcast we're doing here at the Kokomo BobKast. My name is Drew Larison from the Kokomo Post here in Kokomo. And with me is the head coach of the Bobcats, Cliff Livingston. Coach, welcome. This is a new thing we're doing. We're all really excited to be here.
You're excited. I've been waiting all year to get this podcast going, the BobKast. And it's been something that I've wanted to do, but didn't really know how to do it until you guys came about.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. We're happy to be here. Happy to help. I do a show with the mayor of the city of Kokomo as well. So now I'm like the two most important men in Kokomo. I feel like I've got a show with them. So it's great to be here. Great to be. And I will mention, obviously, we're not like in a studio. We're not in some recording area. We're at Cook McDougal's in downtown Kokomo, and that is because they're a partner of the Kokomo BobKats. So every week we'll be recording here at Cook McDougal's, which is great, because we carried a bunch of equipment here, and luckily our office is just right down the street. So it's not too big of a deal. It's nice.
This is the BobKast headquarters.
That's right. We need some signage.
Headquarters.
So this is the BobKast, and what it is let's talk about what this show is going to be. So the Kokomo BobKats, it's their first season in Kokomo. It's off to an unbelievable start in so many different ways. Not only are the citizens of Kokomo loving the Bobcats basketball, but I mean, we're also first in our division. We'll talk about it later, but we're going to be ranked number 1 in our division for the playoffs. So, I mean, the team is doing extremely well, too. But let's talk about why we're doing this show. You said you've been excited about this for a while. What are you most excited about for the BobKast?
Well, just getting the name and getting the players recognition in the city. Letting the people know that, this is a professional basketball team, and we are about the first in everything. We do the first in the division. We want to win our first championship. It's the first team, the first basket that ever made, professional basket made in Kokomo. It's fitting. Kokomo, the city of first.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this show, I guess the agenda of every show we're going to do, we're going to talk about last week's games.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the games coming up. And then we're also going to talk about, just Kokomo in general. Because Cliff, you're obviously not from Kokomo.
No, not.
And we'll talk a little bit about like your past and your career a little bit. But I mean, you're not from Kokomo, but you love Kokomo. You've really fell in love with the town. You live here now. I mean, tell us a little bit why you love Kokomo and why you've decided to make this your home.
Well, what I like about Kokomo is the warmth I've received from the people. The first day I came here, I was skeptical about coming to Kokomo. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to be here, and I don't know if I really wanted to go back into coaching. But when I got here, I saw the enthusiasm. I felt the people who were really involved in the project. They were invested in it wholeheartedly. Jeff Beeler and Mark Jansen, the two owners of the Bobcats. Then I met the mayor. The mayor was on board. The city planner was on. Everyone was on board. And more importantly, the community wanted something to call their own again. So that's why I was excited about it. Yeah,
we really are a sports town. I really believe that in Kokomo. We have the Kokomo BobKats now. There's some food we're going to be trying later, so that's exciting to see. Thanks, Sean from Cook McDougal's there. We have the Bobcats now. We have the Kokomo Jackrabbits as well, like huge baseball town. People love Kokomo, love baseball. We love basketball. Being in Indiana, basketball just hits different in this state. People love basketball in Indiana. So welcome to Kokomo. I know you've been here for a while, but it's really cool to see, and I know I'm not alone in this, to see a coach not only just, it's not just a job for you in Kokomo, it's really something that you're loving being a part of the community here in Kokomo. I'm born and raised here. I've lived almost every single day of my life. I've called Kokomo home. I went away for 1 year, and I came back.
He was homesick. Mama, I'm coming home. I'm coming home, Mama.
Yeah, it's something to do with that. It's also like you got to pass classes in college, and if you don't, they send you back home too. So but I was homesick. That's what it was. No, so it's cool to see that. And I ask people a lot, newcomers to Kokomo, what do you love about Kokomo? And almost 100% of the time, the answer is the people.
And it's way more than just me coming and coaching a team. I have to be invested in the community. And one thing I can say, this community has accepted us as basketball players coming from somewhere else and making us feel part of the community in the city. And, when I put together a team, I don't want to just put together a team of basketball players who just come, show their faces, and leave. I want guys who enjoy being in the community, enjoy going to see kids, enjoy going to see fans at different places. That's what makes this team so special, because we have a lot of guys who basically the fans have been won over because of their personalities and their involvement with the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's true. And you see that, the players are more involved in the community. Like you said, they go to schools and meet kids, or they stick around after the games and shoot, baskets with kids. That works out well for the team too, because those fans are going to want to come back because they're so much more invested in a team that is interactive with them rather than a team they just see play on the court. Well, so I mean, it works so well in both ways.
It makes guys feel good when they walk down the street and the kids say, "Hey, that's Fudge.
Yeah,
hey, that's Hawk. That's Duck." That shows that you are really
making an impact
in that community. And that's what it's about, making an impact in the community.
Absolutely. So, yeah, this show is going to be fun. We're going to do this as long as we can. The Kokomo BobKast is what we're calling. I hope you like our play on words there. But let's get into it. Let's talk about last week's games. Last weekend, we split the games. We won one. We lost one. The first game was with the Columbus Condors, who's a team in our division. We won that one 122-106. And one of the best parts about that game, we played well, scored a lot of points and went well. But we clinched. That's the game we clinched the number one seed in the playoffs. So that was a great game overall, but we clinched that number one seed, which was what I was saying. This is the first year for this team. No one knew what the BobKats were going to be like. We didn't know if it was just going to be a team. We didn't know if they were going to be good or they're going to be great. We won the number one seed in the playoffs our first year. So that's a great thing to see.
Well, that was one of the things that I've always wanted to do. When I came to this team at the press conference, I said, Mr. Magley, don't be surprised if you're back here handing us a trophy for our first year in the league. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh! There's only two of us, Sean.
Man.
Oh, my gosh.
Sean, you make – hey, Sean, I don't know. I may have to go home with you tonight. But no, it was something that I wanted to make sure we were the I would say the cornerstone, the benchmark of what professional sports is going to be like.
Yeah.
And that's what we set out to do, and that's what we've done all year long.
Yeah.
Everyone now is trying to match up to our standards of what and how to build a team from the ground up. And we've built this team from the ground up because, like I said, there was nothing here before, and now we have something special, and everyone is trying to emulate what we're doing.
I'll say that too, and that's so true, and not just the team ways, but like I said, Kokomo is a sports town, man, and these players, the community, the media, we have some of the best media for the Kokomo BobKats, the best fan support in any other league. I bought the pass, the TV pass, where I can watch the away games,
right?
And a lot of these other gyms you're playing in, they're like rec centers. They're YMCAs. And we have a 5,000 person stadium here in Kokomo that gets a lot of people to come.
Well, and that's why we said we want to be the benchmark of the league. We want the standards of the league to go up. When Jeff and Mark came on board, it was basically, okay, we can make this team good, but we can make it great. We can make the league better if we make sure we raise our standards of what is expected. Now, other teams next year is going to have to change their venues, go up to a nicer venue, spend a little bit more money to be like us. And that's a good thing because now it starts becoming a product that's evenly across the
I mean, it's good for, the team too, because you're going to want players to come here. They want to play.
Right now, all the players have come through here. They want to come play for us.
Exactly. I mean, and I'll say this too, the Kokomo Jackrabbits, the same thing. The stadium they play in downtown is easily one of the best stadiums in that Northwoods League that they play in. A lot of other teams, they play at a high school field, which is small. And Kokomo's got some amazing sports venues, and we earn them because people come out and watch the games.
Well, it's not just come watch the game. They support the teams.
Yeah.
And without support, you have nothing. And coming out, spending your money, you're buying the merchandise, watching the TV telecast. That right there is the total support.
It's a big difference.
I mean, it's a big difference. And Kokomo it's a unique city. I didn't realize how unique Kokomo was until I've gotten here and gotten into the community. It is when they're behind you, they are 100%.
We're a loyal city.
It's like a mini Chicago. I mean, the Cubs hadn't won in years, and they still sold out every game. It's like, how can you go to a game and they ain't winning? But the loyalty and the appreciation of the fans and good sports teams, they're 100% behind.
Yeah, it's real. So this game last weekend with the Columbus Condors, we won 122-106. I've got my stats here. Yeah. Fudge came in the leading scorer for that game. Love that guy. Love to see him do well. He had 25 points, 11 rebounds, so walked away with a double-double. Hawk, everybody loves Hawk, 18 points, 9 boards, and Duck had 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. So very spread out, and those 3 guys, they've been here the longest, and they really have, tell me if I'm wrong, but have really slipped into, they're the leaders of this team. They're pushing people along well.
Well, I didn't really want a big turnaround on this team, guys coming and going. I wanted to get me a solid core
family,
guys. Solid core guys. And with Fudge, Hawk, Duck, Trey, these guys have been the centerpiece of this team. And, people have gravitated to them because they have personality.
Yeah.
On and off the floor. On the floor, I mean, they play well together. It's like a family. They look out for each other, make sure that each other's backside is covered. And that's what this is all about. We have a balanced team.
Yeah.
We don't have just 1 or 2 scores. We have about 10 scores on our team. So any given night, any guy can get hot.
It's true.
And beat our leading scorer. So it's unselfish. And these guys really care for each other. They want each other to do well. It's not one guy, one for himself. It's about them sharing the limelight, and that's the best part.
Which is good, because we had Gino was a part of the team earlier in the season, and he left to do other things. Wish him the best. Hope your career goes great. He was definitely the leading scorer almost every single night when he was here, and as he left, it really is spread out. Like we really, as you're saying, there are 10 guys on the team that can go off any single night, but then you've got tons of guys in double digits every single night. It's spread out.
Well, and with Gino leaving. I told guys, we have to make up those points by committee.
Yeah.
It can't be just one guy trying to step up and fill those shoes. It's got to be a committee of us. And that's what we've done. Guys have stepped up their roles, understood what's needed for us to win, whether it's rebounding, whether it's assists, scoring the basketball, defensive stops. These guys have stepped up to the challenge, and that's why we are where we are. We're number 1 in the whole TBL in defensive stops. So that's a test to guys that going every day at practice hard at each other.
Sure,
stopping each other. Because I tell these guys in practice, if you know your own team's plays and you're still scoring, just think what it's like when you got to go to when a team got to face us and try to stop us.
Sure.
It's going to be hard. Yeah. Now, we know how to stop other teams, but other teams can't stop us.
Yeah, and the old phrase goes, defense wins championships. So we'll see how that goes. That's a good stat column to be at the top of, I guess. So that game went well. Columbus Condors, we're going to talk about in a minute, but that's probably who we're going to be playing first round of the playoffs as well, because they're 4th in the Midwest region as of right now.
Well, they beat us the game before at home. That was our first home loss, very first home loss, and it didn't sit well with the guys.
Yeah, as it should have.
Guys really took that personal and took that to heart. So the next time we played them, we said we got to make sure we come and play them and play them well and send a message to them. And the message today they received is it ain't gonna be a cakewalk. And they wanted to play us. They kept saying, well, we'd rather play y'all than anybody in the league. All I can say is be careful what you ask for.
Careful what you wish for sure. Yeah, so that was the first weekend, the game of the weekend. Like I said, we won that 122-106. And then on Sunday, we played the Owensboro Thoroughbreds, and that actually ended up being a loss. The close game, 123-119. Hawk was the leading scorer of that game with 21 points, 11 rebounds, so he walked away with a double-double. Jonathan Lloyd, a newer player on the team, he walked away with 19 points and 3 boards. And Patty, my guy Patty, 18 points and 6 rebounds rebounds in the loss to Owensboro Thoroughbreds. And they're also in our division as well. So they're a tough team. Midwest is tough in general. We really do have a tough division. But tell us what went wrong, what went well in that game, in that loss against Owensboro.
Well, honestly, we played a great game. After the game, I couldn't say too much about how we played. It was a lack of defensive stops. I mean, they shot 63.6% from the three-point line.
Yeah.
But we were only down by 2 with the ball.
Yeah.
So we played – they had to do everything perfect to win that game, and they did everything absolutely perfect. Can they do it again? I don't think so.
Yeah, because we might end up meeting them in the playoffs too.
We might end up meeting them in the play. We beat them with points off of turnovers. We beat them in points in the paint. We were second. We beat them in second chance points. We beat them in fast break points. We beat them bench points. If you look at the stat sheet, we won that game wholeheartedly, hands down. But numbers-wise, at the end, they got us at the end because they put up one or two baskets more in the bucket than we did. Like I said, I was happy about that game because we defended them well. They hit some shots with hands in their face, guys guarding them. It was unbelievable.
It's just one of those nights.
It was night. So it was their night. But
we've had those nights.
We've had those nights.
Yeah.
You know, we had a night in Vegas like that. On the stat sheet they outplayed us, but at the end we beat them at the end. But
points matter the most.
Like I said, I'm just excited about the playoffs. I just ready for the playoffs. The regular season is great. The regular season is to me is a preseason for the playoffs.
Playoffs is the actual season. Yeah.
Yes, because you can go undefeated in the regular season, lose the first round of playoffs. Everyone forgets about what happened during the regular season.
Well, before the playoffs, we do have 2 more games on the schedule, and that's this weekend. Both are at home. One is against Flint United. That's Friday night's game, June 25th, against Flint. Flint overall is 5-16 on the season, and we are 2-0 against Flint on the season. And then Sunday, the June 27th, against Owensboro Thoroughbreds once again. They're 15-7 on the season, and we're 2-1 on the season against them, the one loss being last weekend. So let's talk about the Flint United game. Obviously, they don't have the strongest of teams in the league. We've been able to handle them. I think they were the first game of the season.
Very first game.
They were the first game of the season. It was close. It was 92-90, I think, is what the score was.
Yep.
I saw that today when I was researching for all of this. But other than that, we've kind of handled them well. Like I said, they got a 5-16 record. They're not one of the strongest teams in the league. But any notes on that game that we should be watching for?
Oh yeah, they have some dangerous players on that team. Some guys who can really put the ball in the basket, and they have a couple of defensive players. So we can't take that game lightly. We have to make sure we stay on our P's and Q's and do the things we need to do to win that ball game. From our offensive sets, getting in our offensive sets a little bit faster, running them more proficiently, and defensively understanding who scores are and who the shooters are, and get to them. We got to close out on the shooters and run them off the 3-point line, and then push the scores to our help.
Yeah, so that's Flint United. I don't see us having a problem with that game. Sometimes teams, and I'm not saying we're going to do this, but as we mentioned, we are already the number 1 seed.
Yes.
So sometimes comfort can slip in at the end of a season.
Well, it's not comfort because we're still trying to fight for Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Home court advantage, being the number 1 seed. So that right there is still in the play.
Good.
We still got have a chance
comfort then.
to be the have home court advantage throughout the whole first half of the playoffs.
Which, as we mentioned, the home court in Kokomo is so different than any other home court, honestly, in the TBL. That's a really important thing to win out.
Yeah, because we can go to a away game and still feel like we're at home because our fans travel with us.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Love that. All right, so that is Friday night's game against Flint United. And the last game of the season is Sunday, June 27th against the Owensboro Thoroughbreds. Once again, I said we're 2-1 on them on the season, that loss coming from last week. So what did we learn from last weekend that we can correct? I know we talked a little bit about they just played a perfect game, and sometimes that's tough to beat. But what are some notes going into Sunday's game?
Well, the notes is understanding who the scorers are. Davenport's a scorer, and we let him get going. We can't let him get going. Javon Eves, he's a shooter. He's just a flat-out shooter. He's like a hawk. We have to make sure that we deny him the ball. Don't let him get the ball.
Got to watch him like a hawk.
And then when he gets the ball, we got to make him uncomfortable. And their point guard, Nunn, he played a phenomenal game, but he is a turnover-prone point guard, and we have to make sure we can continue to force him into turnovers. But when we get the turnovers, we've got to capitalize on those.
Love that. So hopefully we can walk away, finish the season off with 2 more wins. And it's also, we've got a theme going on this weekend for the games.
Oh, yeah.
It's 60s and 70s night themed at the BobKats games, which that should be fun. You got some Afro going on.
Afro puffs on.
Love that. Nice. So that'll be fun. Hopefully maybe next, because I know this season's been crazy. It's the first season, but maybe next season more of those themed weekends and stuff like that, because the fans really love that, and they know about it. They can dress up and be there in advance, and that could be fun too.
Well, you know what, and that's the whole thing. Is this is first year we're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And those things work. Those nights when the fans are really involved, or we bring them into the whole weekend or the night, they really enjoy that. And our players are characters, and they love this stuff.
Yeah.
They are something else.
No, the Jackrabbits do that really well too in town. They've always got some fun themed weekend games in Kokomo too, and the people do love that in Kokomo. Awesome. So let's talk playoffs. So they're right around the corner, and a lot of times, I'm noticing a lot of people don't know how the TBL playoff works, and I guess I've kind of learned it. So there's 4 teams from each division that make the playoffs.
Correct.
The top 4 teams.
Total 16
obviously,
teams.
16 teams total. The number 1 seed obviously plays the 4. The 2 and 3 play each other. And how it works, the top seed as at home for the 2nd and 3rd game.
Right.
So
you go on the road. The top seed goes on the road to start off.
the first game. Yeah.
The first game.
And then it's a best of 3.
And the best of 3, yes.
Yeah, so as of right now, actually, I think it's pretty locked in at this point. Obviously, we're the number 1 seed. And like I said, we'll be playing those Columbus Condors. The first game will obviously be in Columbus and Ohio. And then 2 and 3, if needed, probably won't be. We'll sweep them.
Well, I'm trying to get these guys to focus in, because we play Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
It's a grind.
Except for this weekend, we're going to play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. But Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, that means no days off.
Yeah.
So guys have to create their days, and how they create their days is win in 2, we get a day off.
Yeah. It's a reward of sweeping. Yeah.
Well, reward of sweeping, and plus, like I said, you give your body a chance to rest before the next series.
Sure. Yeah.
So the sooner you get done with it, the more time you have to rest.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit before the recording, because we're going to have to stop doing that, by the way, because we need to talk on mic recording as much as possible.
Yeah.
But tell us, you love playoffs, and you were talking about before, a lot of these players, they haven't played in a professional style playoff where you're playing the same team multiple times in a row, and how big of a difference that is. A lot of these last playoffs they might have played in was in a college playoff, and it's one and done. You lose, you're done. This, you could lose game 1, and you got to play that same team the next week, the next game, and that makes a big difference.
Well, like we have a very young team. I think we have maybe one guy who's played professional. So these guys aren't used to focusing in on just one team for a whole week, and that's all you're going to play. So you have to watch the team, then you got to watch the individual player, you got to watch the plays, how they're getting into their plays. So it's a big difference in preparation.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys aren't used to that, just sitting down and watching one guy where he's at the whole time on the floor. You're usually watching the game and you're watching the flow of the thing, but playoffs is total different beast. You have to focus in on
who you're going
to be guarding.
Yeah, you're not just watching a whole team. You're watching that one person you're going to be responsible for on both sides of the court.
And you may see him 3 games in a row. So that means you have to be ready and locked in at all times.
And like we were talking about before we recorded, if you don't know this by now, you had a professional career yourself.
I played a time or 2.
A little bit of basketball.
A little bit of basketball.
Michael Jordan was lucky enough to play with you. That's how I'm going to start saying this. He was lucky to play with you. You weren't, he was okay, but really he was lucky to play with you. And I remember growing up, I watched the Bulls and the Pacers 7-game series, and I watched MJ and Reggie go at it night after night after night, and there really is nothing like that. That type of playoff setting, it's completely different than just a one and done.
Well, the intensity is so high because you may have gotten the best of me this game.
I got you again.
So
though.
Next game, I'm looking at, I got to find a way to get the best of you.
Yeah.
I got to find what I didn't do that I could have done better this game. Now you have a chance to correct that wrong. And most of the time, it happens like that. You know, you go on the road, you may not have played well, you may not have slept well, whatever. Now you come back home, you got a chance to avenge that loss, or if you won, you're trying to see what can I do to expand so I can make sure I keep my dominance on that player.
Yeah,
it's intense.
It's chess, man. It really is. It's an art form.
It's not the checkers. It's not quick. It's going to be the long haul.
Exactly. Yeah, and you really got to think about it. But no, that's exciting. It's going to be exciting to have a first playoff game at Memorial Gym and here in downtown Kokomo. The crowds have been awesome for the season, and I'm guessing they're going to come up for the playoffs, and it's going to be rowdy.
All I can say is, if you haven't been to a Kokomo BobKats game, you need to be out there this weekend to experience what's going to be like in the playoffs, because the playoffs, I want to be insane.
Yeah.
We want everyone hanging from the rafters at Memorial Gym. So I'm looking forward to this week. Alex, you don't know how excited I am because I know the fan support we're going to get and everything we are about to do. So, like I said, I'm just excited. I want people to come out and experience what professional basketball is in Kokomo. You don't have to drive all the way to Indianapolis. Don't go there.
Yeah.
Come right here to Kokomo.
Sure, absolutely. So this weekend, like I said, Friday and Sunday, last 2 games of the regular season. So come out and support them. Let's finish the season off strong. 2 wins, and then we're coming up to the playoffs, and we're going to be a number 1 seed in our first year in the TBL. So it's a great thing. Coach, thank you for doing this first episode.
You know what, though? I have to taste all these.
I know, that's what we're going to get to
before we even.
So Sean from Cooks, he delivered there's no other word.
Gosh.
It's a feast. And I've got a list here. I've got a list here of what's all involved. So this is the Irish egg rolls is what this is. So there's corned beef, there's cabbage, and that's like their Reuben ketchup, I believe, with a white cheddar sauce. And then we've got a traditional Reuben here with a side of red cabbage. You're a foodie, right? You like to cook.
I do cook. I like to cook. I like to eat.
So this is McDougal balls, which that's like their classic dish here. Laugh all you want at that one. We have plastered chicken, which is a chicken breast with bacon and cheese and I think some sort of sauce on that as well.
Make it great. Oh my God.
He's a fan of bacon, people. Yeah, so lots of great food here at Cook McDougal's. It's right on the square in downtown Kokomo. If you haven't been here, please come out and check this awesome local small business. What do you think of the Irish egg rolls? I'll take it. That's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, our office is right down the street. I come here quite a bit, for lunch and all of those. They've also got an awesome outdoor patio. If you want to sit outside and eat lunch or dinner, it's a great option for that too. So make sure to come check out Cook McDougal's. Thank you to Cook McDougal's. Thanks for having us for this podcast. That's going to be exciting to film here as much as possible. They're telling me I need to try something too. So what do you think I should try? A ball?
A ball.
I'm trying a ball on the internet. Here we go. I'm going to dip it. I'm going to dip it in the white cheddar. Yeah.
That's good.
If you guys never had these, talking with food in my mouth, it's a fried mashed potato ball. It's delicious with the white cheddar sauce, same sauce on the Irish egg rolls. Come check out Cook McDougal's. Awesome local restaurant. They've been here a long time, actually. I'll say this, and I'll give them props. They were, when Kokomo's downtown really started revitalizing, they were the first restaurant to really set up shop and join the risk of revitalizing downtown, and it's paid off well. So, I mean, it's great to have them downtown. It's become like one of your favorite spots. I know the team come here quite a bit.
Team comes here. I mean, guys love coming here because the food is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, I'm smacking in the mic. You know what? I can't help it because this is good.
Yeah, sorry to people maybe listening to the audio-only version of this. You're just hearing 2 guys eat some food, but awesome. Well, thanks, Cooks, for having us. Thank you for watching the first episode of the Kokomo BobKast here. I don't know where you're watching it, maybe Facebook, YouTube, maybe you listen to it on Apple Podcasts or maybe Spotify, but thank you for doing this. We're going to be doing this every week for a while. I don't know what we're going to do off season, but thanks, Coach. It was a pleasure. Good to be here.
Pleasure,
like I said, I got 2 podcasts going on in Kokomo with the 2 most important men in Kokomo. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.